Hello and welcome everyone. This is Race on Oz. It's Monday night and we started a bit earlier than what I was expecting. So jump straight into it. Qualifying. What have we got? 16 on the grid. We've got Jack Steele so far leading the times of 1:32.5. Is the best time around the Red Bull Ring circuit. 4.3 kilometres, only 10 turns. But they're an exciting 10 turns. So Benjamin Hignett has just replaced him at the top of the stands. So Steele out there right now. It started off damp, so it's gone to greasy. So we had some weather in the free practice session. And it looks like Steele is about to unseat Benjamin Hignett from pole position. He does indeed. Here comes Mark Hurley. He's looking to improve his time. Parker goes up into P2. Hurley moves up into P3. Here's Brett McGillivray. Wasn't here last week. Let's see what sort of time he can set. P11. What about McGillivray? Goes up into P3 indeed, actually. James Pierre Reid, he comes through. He moves up into P7. So sometimes starting to tumble, but Max Ricker is our man on pole position at the moment. Half a second cleared, 9 minutes and 20 seconds left. Here's Benjamin Hignett. He's way up on his best time. So it looks like it's going to be whoever's out there the latest is going to get the best of the conditions. As Hignett just running wide there through 9 into the right hander of turn 10. As he makes his way onto the final straight. Let's see what sort of time he can put in. He goes up into P1. So P1's a bit of a hot potato right now. What about this man, Aaron Parker? What can he do? Currently P7, a second up on his best time, so that'd be good enough for pole position, which belongs to Benjamin Hignett at the moment. Steele is out there as well. He's about to come through. He moves up into P1. What about Parker? Can he replace him? He moves into P2. Here comes Mark Hurley again. He won't go into pole position. He will move into P number 9. Here's Max Ricker. Can he go into P1? He does. What about Paul Russell? He's out there this evening. He was a little bit late for last week's race, but he's here on time, ready to go. So he makes his way through the final turn. Currently sitting P6, car number 6. Can he move up into P5? He goes better than that. He goes to the front row of the grid. He goes P2. Here's Wally Masterson, last week's AM class winner. He remains there in P14 for now. Here's Vinny Canero. He's currently sitting P8 in the Nissan, the 1, 2, 3. Let's see where he can shake out. P8. He's just been replaced into P9, in fact. Faking out there on a lap as well. He's coming through. Hildebrandt will be not too far behind him, followed by Herbert and Canero. So here comes Neil Fakeney heading down the main straight here. P9 is where he filters out. Here's Canero and Hildebrandt. Canero goes to P2. Hildebrandt goes to P11. Herbert was crossing the line. Where did he come out? Here's Jack Steele. He's P5 right now. He won't improve. Neither will Parker. Mitch Hayes will improve by a significant amount. Will it be enough to put him onto pole position? We'll have to wait and see. As he's heading out of turn 8 into the right-hander of turn 9. So P10 is where he sits right now with 30.4 with 6.5 minutes left. Max Ricker is sitting on pole position. Hayes goes up into P1, almost 3/10 clear. The track's still at greasy. Looks like a little bit of weather forecasted for half an hour's time, so we won't see any of that in this qualifying session. The track has just gone from greasy to green, so it is improving. What can this man do? Here's Christopher Butt. Wasn't able to race last week, but back this week. Let's see what he can do. 1.5 tenths up on his best time. Good enough for P3. Nice strong time from him. getting things started off. Here's Neil Fakeney, the number 9. He's in P11 right now, just under 6 minutes left. So it's Mitch Hayes leading the way from Max Ricker, Butt, Kinero, Russell Steele, Parker Frost, Hignett and Herbert. Here comes Fakeney. He goes up into P4, so he's got the Aston Martin humming right now. Hildebrand won't improve on his time, so P14 is where he will remain for now. Paul Russell is one of the drivers out there on a lap at the moment. So we've got one AM driver in the field tonight. That's Wally Masterson. So he'll be going for his back-to-back class victories tonight. Just needs to finish. Has to do all the pre-race stuff in between sessions. But here's Russell looking to improve on his time. Can he get on the front row with a grid? 3.5 tenths up on his best time. Half a second's the difference between he and Mitch Hayes, who sits in P1. 2/3 of the session are gone. We're down to the remaining 5 minutes left as he slings his McLaren through the final turn, runs it up to the start-finish line, and the clock, the stopwatch says P2, front row of the grid. Nice work there from Paul Russell. Here's Wally Masterson. He's looking to take a big chunk out of his time. Goes from 13th to 7th. Nice work from him. Neil Fakeney is out there setting a time again. Track has now gone to fast. So we started greasy, we've gone green, we've gone fast. Will we get to optimum? 4.5 minutes remaining. We'll have to wait and see. Right now we're watching Neil Fakeney, who's currently sitting in P5 at the moment. What sort of time can he do? Can he improve enough to move up a position? He does. He moves into P3. Nice work from him. Here's Herbert. He's in P14. He moves into P9. Nice work there from Robin Herbert. Here's Paul Russell, currently sitting on the front row of the grid with 4 minutes remaining in this qualifying session. Setting the grid for the penultimate race of the season. Round number 8. 8 of 9. Got an alright field tonight. 16 in total. I think, did we have that last week? Or was it 14 last week? Had the night race around, where were we around last week? My memory evades me. I'll have to get to that shortly. Where were we? I can't even remember. Here we go. Russell, he's going to go to the top of the times. He goes P1. Nice work from him. Here is Wally Masterson. He moves up into P4. Wow, he's really got that McLaren humming right now. McGillivray, he goes up into P3. So track's still at fast. So will it get to optimum? 3 minutes remaining. It's Max Ricker sitting in pole position. 2.5 tenths clear of Vinnie Kinero, Jack Steele, McGillivray, Russell. That's your top 5. McGillivray's the highest of the silver, but Masterson's highest of the AM. Hurley moves up into P number 10. Here comes Chris Hildebrand. He's 6 tenths up on his best time. Should be able to crack the top 10 if he stays on track here. Just outside P11. What about Herbertron? He moves up into P8. Nice work from him. So here's the guys at the front are out there. One of them is Vinnie Kinero in the Nissan, making his way through the jigsaw piece puzzle, turn number 6. Up a little bit of dust. That's Max Ricker tucked in behind him. They're battling it out for P1 and P2 at the moment. Ricker currently holds on to P1. 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Kinero not improving enough at this stage. He's a quarter of a second behind, and Ricker is improving on his time. Hignett goes to the top of the times. What does Max Ricker do? He replaces him almost straight away. Here comes Jack Steele. Wally Masterson coming through. No, he won't improve his Steele. Coming through the final turn now. He's temporarily dropped down into P5. Where will he filter out? P number 3. So here comes Frost looking to improve on P9. He goes up into 6th. What about Mitch Hayes? He was sitting on pole position for a little bit. Currently 3 tenths up on his best time. He goes into P number 5. Who else is out there? Plenty are out there. Vinnie Kinero, one of the front runners. The other one, Ricker, he is out there as well, with just under a minute left now in qualifying. started a little bit late. Apologies. Here comes Kinero, 9/10 down. Off pole position set by Max Ricker, 28.692. So he's that fast. Started off as greasy, so it has progressed. As you saw, that was Max Ricker just in the background. Hignet's got it just up ahead of them now, just behind them, in fact. How does that work, Dave? He's slower and they're faster. Anyway, here we go. So here's Hignet. He will cross the line first before Ricker. He's not going to improve on that time, unfortunately. McGillivray will improve. He goes into P number 6. He's back to Steele. 2.5 tenths up on his best time. Can he jump onto the front row of the grid? No, he can't. P3. As we go to 000. Here's Mark Hurley. Currently P13 in the Ferrari for the 177. 2.5 tenths up on his best time. That'd be enough to jump him up into P10. There you go. That, in fact, he does. That's where he ends up. Vinny Kinero, currently P4, 1.5 tenths up on his best time. Only a handful of drivers out there right now, so we've gone 000. So here comes Kinero, not looking like he's going to improve enough to move position. He's about 2.5 tenths behind Jack Steele, who's about the same behind Hignet, who's the same behind Ricker. So I think it's not necessarily completely indicative of the true pace, given that the conditions of the circuit did evolve throughout the session. But anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. So here's Kinero. He's finishing off. Max Ricker looks like he's invalidated his lap, so he won't improve on that. He's in P1 anyway. Hignet's in the pits. Kinero is really the only one that might be able to upset him, or it might be Jack Steele. So Kinero remains in P4. Parker's coming through. He's looking to make up a big chunk of time as he's sliding through the final turn. Parker should improve significantly here. He does. He goes onto the front row of the grid. Jack Steele is looking to do the same. He lost a little bit of time there in the last part of the lap, and so he ends up in P3. But congratulations, it's Max Ricker. He takes pole position. The highest of the silver runners is McGillivray. Congratulations to him. I think that's his best qualifying of the session. And Wally Masterson is in P number 13 outright, but 12th outright, highest in class. McGillivray, he was 7th outright, and Max Ricker is P1 outright as well. Oh, all right. So I did see something in the Discord chat earlier that talked about starting at 8 o'clock, but that didn't really click because the Eastern Daylight Saving Times ended. Anyway, till last week, well, I'm struggling to think, where were we last week? We were... Anyway, it was a bit of a lackluster race, actually. Smallest grid of the season. Jack Steele put it on pole. He led all the way. Ricker and Parker, they had a bit of contact there at the start, which sent Parker to the back of the field. He yo-yoed up and down the field. Where did he finish ultimately, Aaron Parker? He finished in P7, so not a bad recovery. Good race from James Pierre Reid. He finished 3rd, and Mitch Hayes was too sick for the post-race interview, but won the silver class. Wally Masterson was the AM winner. And Suzuka last week. How could I forget that? That was in the nighttime conditions. So as you can see, these were the outright results. So Jack Steele, he started in P1. He finished P1. He was in a bit of a class of his own last week, so congrats to him. Mitch Hayes, he started in 6th. He finished in 4th. He took out the silver class victory, so big congrats to him. And then it was Wally Masterson who started in 14th. And he finished in 9th. So big congrats to Wally Masterson for taking the AM class victory. In terms of standings, so it's Jack Steele. He is 12 points clear of Benjamin Hignett, who finished 8th last week, so that chewed a little bit into his championship lead. So it's only 11 points between those two right now. Max Ricker, he's well in it as well, 480.6 points, sitting in P3. In 4th is Aaron Parker. He's a little bit further back on 404 points, sitting in P4, but nonetheless having a great season. Had that victory earlier on as well. Terry Rayton in P5, he's gone off travelling, so he will not be returning for the remainder of the season, so he may drop a little bit further in the standings. Vinny Quiniero sitting there in P6 in the Nissan. Paul Russell having another good season, 284 points in 7th spot. Robin Herbert, he is sitting, Mitch Hayes sitting there, 249 points in 8th. 9th is Robin Herbert, and 10th is Matthew Frost. Let's have a look at the AM and the Silver class. So you've got there Paul Russell leading the way, 284.4 points. He's had 3 class victories for the season already. Mitch Hayes has also had 3 class victories. He's sitting in P2, about 35 points behind. Right next to him, though, is Robin Herbert. He hasn't had a class victory yet, but he is having a strong season, though. He sits 9th in the overall championship. He had his best finish of the season in P5 last week, so the 512 humming along very nicely. Matthew Frost in the 666 Mercedes, sitting there on 244. Chris Hildebrandt having another good season, 205. James Mack in 7th. 8th is Mark Hurley. 9th is Brett McGillivray, so he'll be looking to improve on that this evening. Neil Fakeney in 10th, Nando Latenzio and Christopher Butt, who's also racing tonight. In the AM class, it's Wally Masterson, so he's taken out 2 class victories. James Bridgens has taken 3, but he hasn't been around for the last couple of races. I think he's moving house and he's having a baby as well. He and his partner are having a baby, so lots of life stuff going on for James Bridgens at the moment. Rod Taylor, he's taken out 1 class victory. Haven't seen him for a couple of races now. John Hedges and Zach Jensen. In terms of driver ballast, it's Jack Steele with the most on 22 kilos. Benjamin Hignett not far behind on 21. Ricker on 17. Rayton 14. And it's 10 for Aaron Parker, 6 for Russell and Hayes, 4 for Andrew Lawrence, and that's a name I haven't seen for a while either. James Pierre Reid and Matthew Frost with 3 and 2. And then just some penalty points there. We've had 5 people put their names on there. James Mack, Robin Herbert, Luke King, Mark Hurley and Jack Steele. Let's take a quick look at the circuit. So we've already seen them perform qualifying. Like I said, it's 10 turns, 4.3 kilometres. Lots of elevation around here, especially into turn 1. The big right-hander trying to carry as much speed through there into turn 2, which is more just a little kink. Turn 3 as well will offer some overtaking opportunities. Then it's the short run down into turn 4, through 5 into the jigsaw piece puzzle of 6, 7 and then 8, and then the short run down into turn 9 for the fast right-hander. The second of those fast right-handers is turn 10, and that is the lap. Cool, so we don't have to do any mid-session break. As you can see, that is everyone. And yeah, as you can also see, there is weather, so it is raining. So that is going to add a little bit of spice this evening. There we go. That's a bit better. So 20 seconds away from getting things started. And they will head off on a warm-up lap. Looks like rain's going to be around for quite a while, at least a half an hour by the looks of things, at least the first 10 minutes. So I don't think we'll have anyone starting on dries taking a risk.
Right, we have some wet conditions. Remember that curbs are slippery and watch your braking distance.
Yeah, it's damp, not wet. So Anyway, so the field is away. So as mentioned, it's Max Ricker in P1. He's going to be a hard man to stop. Aaron Parker. So these two had contact early in the race last week. They will be hoping not to repeat that tonight. So that will be one to watch. Jack Steele, he had it all his own way last week. Started P1, was pretty much unchallenged throughout, had a comfortable lead all the way. He'll be starting the race from P3. Then you've got Benjamin Hignett. So the two main protagonists, well, three main protagonists. That's James Pierre Reid. He's got issues again at the start of the race. He was on pole position a couple of weeks ago at Donington Park, and he had issues, and it looks like he's up and away. So hopefully he's all right, good to go. To catch up to the rest of the field, will he have to start all the way behind? Does he teleport to the pits? He has teleported to the pits, so that is very unfortunate for him. That is where he will begin the race. Those tyres will be ice cold. Brett McGillivray, highest of the Silver Runners. He's beginning from P6. Then Mitch Hayes. So he's in contention for the Silver Glass Championship. Matt Frost. Yes, JP can't buy any luck. That is right. Mr. Terry Reagan in the chat. Nice to have you on board tonight. Matt Frost, how's he going? He's fourth in the Silver Class Championship. Paul Russell, as mentioned, 3 class victories. He is in P1 tonight, so he's going to have to do a little bit of work there to try and keep Mitch Hayes at bay. Still, 35 points the difference, but every point is going to count. 5-1-2, Robin Herbert having a great season, as is Wally Masterson. He's leading the AM Championship. Chris Hildebrandt, he is beginning the race in the 111 from P12. Neil Fakeney, he's going to start from 13th position. 14th will be Christopher Butt. Mark Hurley will be from 15th. And as mentioned, poor James Pierre Reid, unfortunately, will be starting from the pit lane. So here we go. Cars are all getting into formation. Track is damp. Weather is forecast at least for the first 10 minutes, possibly half an hour. Will it be wet all the way through? We will find out over the course of the next 60 minutes.
Green light. Give me the one.
There's the green light. So it looks like Ricky got a pretty good jump. So did Steele. Parker's going to follow him into turn 1 here. That was McGillivray, who also had a good start as well. As they all filed through, that's Vinny Canero going around, unfortunately. And that is where he sits right now. He's going to have to turn it around, and away he goes. James Pierre Reid will be making his way through very, very shortly. Hignett and Steele going side by side into turn number 3, sorry. So it looks like Hignett's got the better of him for now. Have to wait and see. Butt and Hurley. So it looks like Butt moved up into P12. Here is back to Steele and Hignett. A little bit of contact there as they're going into turn number 4 now. So Hignett has moved up a spot. So it's Ricker from Parker, Hignett and Steele. McGillivray has already made up a little bit of ground there as well. His race is going quite well. Herbert's already made up 3 spots. Hildebrandt's made up 3 as well. Butt's made up a few. He's being challenged by Mark Hurley. And there's Mitch Hayes. I didn't see what happened to Mitch Hayes, so he's had an off somewhere. He's fallen way down the field. He started in P7, so I didn't see what happened to him, unfortunately. As Ricker making his way through to complete the first lap of the race. And he's already opened up a healthy little gap here. It's 1.4 seconds between he and Parker. We're watching from the rear of Aaron Parker's car. He's got Benjamin Hignett tucked in behind him. So this is going to be a good battle, a good test for Parker. And a good battle, I'm sure, will be had by Benjamin Hignett. Mark Hurley has dropped a couple of spots there as well. So he's moved down to 14th. And here's Frost and Herbert. So it looks like Matt Frost has made up a spot there. It looks like Hildebrandt going down the inside too. So Herbert just losing a couple of spots here in the early stages. And will he get the better of that battle? I think he might. He goes down the inside. There we go. So Lucas Hildebrand moves up into P8. He started there in P12. So see what sort of race he can have this evening. But Ricker just started to check out a little bit. 1.7 seconds is the gap between he and Aaron Parker. Hignett tucked into P3, less than half a second back. And then about 8/10 is Jack Steele off the rear wing of Benjamin Hignett for now. So Steele, he's dropped down one spot. He's swapped it with Benjamin Hignett. Take an alternative line there down the front straight. Ducks back in. So the rain's still persistent. As mentioned, forecast for at least the next half an hour, but we'll see if that does eventuate. Track is at damp, so not fully wet. Air temperature 22, track temperature 28. Very soft wind, 1 kilometre. It is Butt and Fakeney. He gets it done. Let's see how that came about. Looked like it was into turn 1. Very, very common overtaking spot. That was Masterson and Herbert. Oh, it's Fakeney just ran a little bit wide there. And that was enough to allow Butt to work through. So Christopher Butt moves up into P number 11. We'll go back to live images. So here is Hignett and Parker. And Butt gets the move done on Masterson. So he's liking these conditions. He's up 4 spots from where he started. P number 14 into 10th. One of the biggest risers through the field. He and Hildebrand both up 4 spots. Russell up 3. Hayes down 5. Kinero down 10. What happened to Vinny? I didn't see it. I don't know what's going on tonight. I'm not keeping up with the action. But, oh no, he got turned around at the very, very beginning. That's right. Yeah, what am I talking about? Here's Mark Hurley. That looks like it's terminal. I think there's going to be a teleportation back to the pits at some stage, as he's parked on the side of the track. So, we'll see what happens to him. Parker running very, very wide at turn 1, and that is enough to let Hignett through. You don't need to give him that big of a chance. And now he's going to have to fight off Steele as well. And he's managing to hold him off so far. It's going to be a bit of a drag race. Into turn 4. Looks like the McLaren fighting back as well. So Parker able to regain that spot as he'll have the inside line. Hignett having to run around the outside. He'll have the inside line for the next corner. So this is great door-to-door action right now. A little bit of contact there. That's just a little bit of Rubbins racing action. And he's going to be hung out to dry here a little bit on those curves. And Steele is able to take full advantage of that and sneak his way through. So Parker lost a spot, gained 1 back, and then ended up losing 2. So he drops down now into P4. He's got McGillivray tucked in behind him, about a second down the road. He's the highest of the silver runners as well. So Brett McGillivray having a very, very good run tonight. Opening stages of this one, round number 8, 8 of 9. Next week is the grand final at Circuit of the Americas. And now Steele will begin his chase of Hignett. In the meantime, though, Max Ricker absolutely checked out. The gap is hovering around 7 seconds at the moment. Get a bit more of an idea. Here's Kinero getting past Fakeney. Yep, he gets that job done. So he's beginning his way back. Currently P13, Steele and Hignett. They're swapping positions. good action going on right now. Parker will be looking to get a little piece of the action as well. So good battle going on right now between Hignett, Steele and Parker. McGillivray just hanging around in there as well. Last lap though, Max Ricker a 33.7. 33.5 he's just done now as well. Let's see what sort of times these guys do. He's in a bit of a different league right now. Track has gone to wet as well, so the rain has persisted and it's only gotten more damp. And these guys handling the conditions quite well, to be fair. That's Parker just running a little bit deep again at turn 1. We saw him do that earlier. That's going to open it up for McGillivray, who's going to have to go around the outside of turn number 3 if he wants to get it done. That is the long way around there. We'll try and cut back. Go on board. BMW, 1 and 2 BMWs in the field. Looks like Kinero has made up another spot as well, so he's gotten past Hayes. As we go back to McGillivray, looks like Frost was trying to make a move on Russell. Is he able to get that done? Pretty much. Nice work there from Matt Frost. So he completes the pass. The 666 is now in P6. So there you go. Here is Steele. You can see the spray coming off the rear of the Ferrari of Hignett. The wipers definitely earning their keep today. So they head down front straight, so they've dropped Parker a little bit. Seen that a bit already. Guys just taking a bit of a different line down the pit straight. There's Kinero. He makes up a spot. Let's have a quick look at this. That's on Molly Masterson. Got Mitch Hayes tucked in behind him. They're going to go down the front straight. They're not taking the alternative line. He's trying to get the draft. He does that successfully. Goes down the inside. And job done for Vinny Kinero. So as we go back to live action, here's Robin Herbert and Christopher Butt going at it for P9 and P10. Butt's not going to give this up without a fight. He goes down the inside. Trying to get the traction down in the BMW in these tricky conditions. And Herbert, a little bit more nimble Ferrari. Looks like he's able to complete the pass for now. Will he be able to hang on to it though? That's going to be the question. And he does. So nice work there from Herbert. Is now into P number 9, one spot up from where he began the race. As Ricker 33.8 on that previous lap. Hignett just did a 34.4. Steele a 35 flat basically, 34.950. 34.512 to Parker. Looks like he's got McGillivray in check now too. But he's going to have to step it up a little bit to try and catch these guys. He's 1.3 seconds off the back of Jack Steele. You can see the car on screen right now. But Max Ricker in a class of his own right now. The only driver in the 33s that last lap, a 33.837. Now, will we see any truck limits penalties come into effect? Because it is quite easy to invalidate the lap around here. As we're back to Christopher Butt and Robin Herbert. So they swap positions once again. This time Butt is moving up a spot into P number 9. You can see the Ferrari there in the background. Did he make a little mistake out of there? I think he did by the sounds of it. and that's allowed Herbert to get the run on him. And now he's got Vinny Canero as well, hunting him down. So Butt just has to regather himself a little bit. Very, very tricky conditions though right now. It is wet, so it is tough going out there at the moment. And Vinny Canero trying to sneak his way through. And he does just that, almost. Yep, he does. So he moves up into P10. Hildebrandt is all over the back of Paul Russell. This is that angry sounding Porsche engine. Tough conditions out there. This rain not looking like it is going to let up at all. Not anytime soon anyway. And it looks like Steele and Hignett have been going at it. Let's just see what happened there. I don't like to cut away, but I want to at least catch the replay to see what's happened here. So Hignett's gone defensive on the inside. Steele's going to have to go around the outside. And this is about where we caught up with them. And we're going to go back to live images now. There we go. And Hignett is behind Steele. I wonder if we can see what happened here. No, we can't. So Steele had got that done already. Any other stuff going on? There was Hildebrandt going down the inside of Paul Russell. Couldn't get that move done, unfortunately. We'll go back to live images. And 3, 2, 1. Now, there we go. So Jack Steele moves up into P2. He's leading the championship right now by 11 points from Benjamin Hignett. So he's in the right spot heading into the final round next week. Still obviously need to finish this, but just keeping the championship picture in mind. That's Aaron Parker. What lap did he do then? 34.6. Yeah, those guys, Hignett 35.4, 34.3 to Steele, 34 flat. So I think Steele might have some good pace, but it's going to be coming back from a long way to challenge Ricker, because the gap is hovering around about the 7 seconds, or it's at 10 seconds now in fact. So Ricker just checking out at the moment. You can see on the track map there how far ahead he is with these guys. So he's absolutely flying right now as we're a quarter way through this one, and here's Max Ricker leading the way. He put it on pole position. He's been unchallenged so far. Steele, Hignett, Parker, McGillivray, Frost, Russell, Hildebrandt, Canero. McGillivray leading the the silver class in fact, by less than a second though. So this is Matt Frost who's chasing him down, and then a couple of seconds back is Paul Russell, and less than half a second behind him is the 111 Porsche of Chris Hildebrandt. So 5th through to 8th is covered by roughly about 3.5 seconds, and that is P1, 2, 3, 4 in silver class right now. So silver class looking pretty spicy at the moment. Wait and see how it all pans out. This is Aaron Parker. I saw Hurley in the pits. Looks like Hayes manages to get past Herbert as well. So Mitch Hayes moving his way up through the field. I didn't see what happened to him, but obviously it was enough to get him from P number 7 down to the rear of the field. So he's on his recovery drive at the moment. I hope he's not feeling ill like he was last week. Canero making up plenty of ground under brakes with Hildebrandt. Just to give you back an idea back at this battle here. So Steele and Hignett, 1.2 seconds is the gap right now between the 996 and the number 1 car. Jack Steele trying to get the number 1 on the side of his Ferrari for next season. And here's Hildebrandt. So he gets the move done. Nice work. So he gets past Paul Russell. So Chris Hildebrandt having a good race right now. He began in P12, up 5 spots into P7. had a great start to this one. See how high he can finish. Currently sitting 5th in the Silver Class Championship at the moment. Vinny Canero. He's got Paul Russell right now. Give more of an idea of... He doesn't have his windscreen wiper on either, Vinny Canero. So perhaps he might be running a camera view, like a bonnet camera view rather than in-car. If not, this is what he's dealing with. Which isn't too bad, you know, it's not unbearable. We don't have like, it's not thunderstorm conditions. That's when visibility does become a bit of an issue. But still, each to their own, I say. There's been plenty of real life races where very inexpensive window wiper part not working has been causing quite a drama. I think I've seen that at Bathurst plenty of times. Looks like Vinny Canero might have had contact with something as well. Judging from the right side of his car, he's got some witness marks on there. So Foster McGillivray is shaping up quite nicely as Paul Russell just has a little excursion there. Let's see if we can pick up what's going on here. Just understeered off the track. That is where we found him. Go back to live images. So right now it's 1.1 seconds the gap between Hignett and Steele. The difference between Rickett and Steele. It's quite difficult at this part of the track because it sort of balloons out. Wait for it to rubber band back. But it's a pretty big gap right now. About 8 to 9 seconds the difference between Rickett and Steele. Frost. This is the battle I want to keep my eye on. Matt Frost has taken one class victory already this season. He sits P4 in the championship, only 3 points behind Robin Herbert, 5 points behind Hayes, but 40 points behind Paul Russell. But Paul Russell down in P9. It could really throw the cat amongst the pigeons. Moving into Coda next week for the finale. Poor Chris Hildebrand just getting a slide on through the final turn. Oswald and Enswell. As we're a third race distance. So still Ricker leading it easily right now. 34 flat last lap around. 33.8 to Steele. So Steele's got some pace, but Ricker's going to have something go wrong for him to really close that gap up. He's sort of hovering around about the 8-second mark at the moment. Here's Butt and Russell, and Christopher Butt gets the job done. Let's take a look at that again. Oh, Russell just understeered again. So maybe he's having some handling issues right now. We go back to live images. Vinny Canero. He is currently lining up Chris Hildebrand. So Canero, who started in P5, currently occupying P number 8. After that spin at the start of the race. I was going to say, where's James Pierre Reid after starting in the pits? He is not in the lobby anymore. He's not in the room. He's out. So we're down to 14. So yeah, numbers dwindled last week and we began this week as Kinero going down the inside of Hildebrandt, but it's quality over quantity, and I've been pretty entertained for the first 22 and a half minutes. Been good fun so far as Kinero gets their spot done from Hildebrandt. Not really Chris Hildebrandt's race right now. He's focusing more on these two right here. McGillivray, he's not taken a class victory for the season. So he's sitting in 8th on 157 points in silver class. So this would be pretty good for Brett McGillivray if he can hold on here. Long way still to go. We've got the pit stops yet to clear. Track conditions are wet. Rain doesn't look like it's going anywhere at this stage. Doesn't look like there's much wind to blow it away either. So we'll be going the full 60 minutes wet. We're on 24 so far. Almost 24. We'll see if we're going up to 36 and a half. In the meantime, though, right on board Matt Frost. Hignett is in the pits. There you go. So, don't know what the pit stop conditions were this evening. But we will at least get a bit of an idea. It doesn't look like he's had contact with anything either, so we'll leave him to it. Frost. Get a nice little driver. Cocooned in there. Ooh, job done is Matt Frost. Nice work, Frosty. Can he hold on here? I think he will. Let's go have a look on the outside and see how that played out. Frost was able to get the power down beautifully and get the job done. So Matt Frost moves into P4 and leader of the silver class. What's been his best finishing position? 4th this season is his equal best finishing spot. Hignett is out of the pits. How long did he take? Exactly 1 minute, 32 seconds for the stop, so he's taken tyres, and yeah, 1 minute in total. So where is he in relation to race leader? Well, he wasn't really challenging for the lead. He was probably closer to, he was battling out with Steele. So wait and see. Kinero just running a little bit wide there. Yeah, he's well behind Steele. Wait and see. But the rest of the field able to make his pit stop. And McGillivray just dropped off the back of Matt Frost. But he's got Kinero coming through, who is almost back to where he started, which was P5, so in 6th right now. Butt and Masterson swap positions. We would be saying the same about Kinero and McGillivray as Mark Hurley is making his way into the pits. McGillivray, just that back end, just stepping out ever so slightly. Don't want to be doing that too often in these conditions, that's for sure. Track's at 26 degrees, air is 22, and as I mentioned a few times, doesn't look like that rain is going anywhere at the moment. Vinny Kineros, he's got the window wiper on now, so maybe he was just that intensely focused. He just didn't notice that it wasn't on. I think you usually get like a warning though, don't you? If you don't have your window wiper on. I thought. So, not sure. Maybe you accidentally hit one of the buttons it's mapped to on his wheel. I'm not too sure. But anyway, it's going again. Just trying to get past McGillivray here. Going to go around the outside of turn 4. Trying to crisscross back. Down the inside, fire breathing out of the exhaust there. The downshifts, McGillivray runs a little bit wide, and Vinny Canero takes that position. So Vinny back up into P5, seeming to enjoy these conditions as well. He's got some good pace. He's now 2 seconds behind the 666 of Matt Frost. Nice wet race, looks fun. Peter Wall saying in the chat. Yeah, it has been pretty fun so far, the first almost half. Hignett, where is he? Down there in P14 right now. He was the early stopper. Mark Hurley's the other one. How long has he been in there for? 2 minutes 18. Paul Russell is making his way into the pits. So he's making his stop. He was battling it out for Silver Class standings. The Silver Class will win. He hits his marks. This man here is second in class. Matt Frost is currently P4 right now. So he's sitting in 4th. Now 34.8 was his last trip around. Aaron Parker did a 35.5, so 3.5 seconds is the gap between Frost and Parker. So can Matt Frost go one better than his personal best this season? It'll be his first podium. Interesting to see if he can do it. There you go, there's the gap. Now that's Canero. He lapped a 35.1 on that previous lap, so 3/10 slower than Frost. The gap is at 1.1 seconds, so he's going to start to look in his rear view mirror and he's going to see that all black Nissan. Peter Wall, Frosty's normally pretty good in the wet. Yeah, well, he's definitely living up to that reputation today. He's seeming to really relish these conditions. In saying that though, he was almost a second slower than Canero on that previous lap, so he's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit to keep Canero at bay, because Canero's got some real good pace right now. Pace to match the leader, in fact. Ricky did a 34.282 that last lap. Canero did a 34.222. So, yeah, Vinny Canero's a bit of a case of what if, given that he spun at the start of the race. Mitch Hayes is another car in the pits. Russell's made his stop. He was at a minute 1. Hignett was at a minute, we've already talked about. Hayes has been in there for 37 seconds and counting. Mark Hurley was in there for 2.5 minutes. So it looks like it's about a minute is the length of stop time. As Canero continuing to give chase to Frost. So we've kicked over halfway, and here comes Vinny Canero. He's making his way into the pits. It's an interesting pit entry here. In the dry, there's a little bit of a sort of this weird AstroTurf on the pit entry, but anyway, Vinny Canero making his way into the pits. Might as well head over to Max Ricker, so he's well out in front. 34.2 was that previous lap. In the meantime, though, Chris Hildebrandt is hunting down McGillivray. He was about 6/10 faster on that previous lap was Hildebrandt. A good run. So Hildebrandt, he started P12, so he's made up 6 spots from where he started. Hayes into the pits now as well. So Kiniero's pit stop was 1:03, so that was a little bit on the slower side. Masterson 1:02. Hayes hits his marks, and here's some more cars into the pit lane. A couple of purple cars. McGillivray, the BMW just up ahead, and Hildebrandt. So there'll be cars number 6 and 7 to make a pit stop. And it's going to be a race between these two. See who can get out first. Neil Fakeney now moves up into P6. Top 9 yet to pit. Car to keep an eye on is Benjamin Hignett in P10. So pit time is 1 minute. And I wonder if we can get Ray Hignett 1:15. Yeah, I reckon he's still going to come out third. Right now, Parker's in P3 at the moment. The gap to the leader, it's so weird here because it's such a short lap, and the gaps are so large right now. Hildebrandt, who got out first? It was Hildebrandt. So Hildebrandt, what was his pit stop time? 1 minute. McGillivray 1:06. So Hildebrandt's able to jump McGillivray in the pits there. So it's a pretty long stop from McGillivray. He's got Russell, who has pitted. So McGillivray just came out of the pits now. Here's Herbertron in the 512. He's coming into the pits as well. So flurry of pit activity. Yeah, Benjamin Hignett, he went for the strange pit stop last week as well, really super early, and it looks like he's done the same, which sort of goes against what he sort of normally does, where he's been usually one of the last to stop, but the last 2 races in a row he's been one of the first to stop. So not too sure what that's about. And it didn't really seem like it was a matter of circumstances either last week, nor this week. We'll see how it pans out for him. As Russell heads down the front straight. P11 right now, 6th in class. But the top 3 in silver class have yet to pit. So he's got that going for him at the moment. Max Ricker, though, continues to lead this one, 9.8 seconds at last check. And because you've got these really tight corners as well, and the cars have to slow right down, it just really messes with the timing screen. But it's been hovering around about the 10-second mark between Ricker and Steele. That's where it's been for quite a while now. Here's Neil Fakeney. Last lap around 34.6 to Ricker. 34.370. Here comes Christopher Butt as well. So he's pitting from P6. Mitch Hayes will make his way through, but that is He's a lap down right now, down there in 14th position. So not having a good race is Mitch Hayes. As we see Russell. So he'll be hunting down McGillivray. Let me see if I can work out what the gap is going to be between McGillivray and Frost, sitting over a minute, I think. Yeah, that McGillivray pit stop was too long, 1:06. He lost too much time there. Everyone else has been between a minute to a minute 3. He was the longest at 1:06. So maybe didn't quite hit his marks. Not too sure. Very, very easy to do, especially given these wet and slippery conditions. Almost two-thirds race distance. We're on board with Paul Russell. So the top 4 full tanked it. Yeah, I don't know what the pit stop thingo was this week, but I would assume so. Pit stops are going from minute to minute 3. Stationary for 32 seconds, which would indicate tyres. So if you're changing tyres, I would assume you would fuel up as well. But yeah, not 100% certain. Here's our race leader though. This is Max Ricker in the pits. The Steele will head through. Last lap around 39.975 to Ricker. That's misleading because he came into the pits. 34.3 to Jack Steele. So our championship leader right now and our 3-time race winner. P1. Parker 35.270. That last triple round. Frost almost to the 35 flat. Ricker still in the pits. He's done and dusted, and that will be a total of 1 minute exactly. Stop for 32 seconds, so that's the same as Hignett as well. So he nailed that stop then. Max Ricker. So our race leader was about 10-second gap between he and Steele, and he is going to come out into free air as well. So he's got car 37. That's Christopher Butt at the end of this straight here. So he's got plenty of free air, and then he's got the 177 behind him, which is Mark Hurley. So this final 19 minutes of the race shaping up quite nicely for the number 27, Max Ricker. He's had 1 win already. He's had 2 seconds, a third, a couple of fourths and a ninth. So he's had another good season, and he sits in P3 in the championship, only 12.8 points away from Jack Steele. So this is going to work out quite nicely for the end of the season. Season 1 of 2025, which will be next week at Coda. And looks like we're going to see it go down to the last race, which is what you want. So Steele would need a gap of a minute. Over a minute would be nice for him. Don't know if he's going to get that. Have to wait and see. Parker's the other one. So Frost is up in P3. So it was Hignett occupying P3 earlier. It'd be interesting if Parker can hold on to P3 and keep Hignett at bay. Or will Frosty get a P3? Last lap around Frost was a 35.267. He hasn't made a pit stop yet either, so that was quite slow. Oh no, not too bad. Steele's just pumped in a lap. 35.347. Parker is coming into the pits now as well. So he's cried enough. It's going to be a race between he and Hignett. Hignett coming through turn 5 now. Parker almost at his pit stop box. And now it's been 24 seconds. Here comes Hignett. I think he's going to do this pretty easily. He's going to smash this in. Hignett. Parker is at 36 seconds and counting. Is he down yet? No. It's taking a while to get down. Well, Hignett making his way through. What about Kinero? Where's Kinero coming? Parker's still there. 32 seconds total stop time. Here comes Kinero. There is Parker, and Kinero goes through. So Aaron Parker is going to have it all to do. There's Kinero. Great fight back from Vinny Kinero, though, in the Nissan. So went around in the opening lap. And yeah, great fight back from him. There's the gap between Parker and Kinero. Kinero pitted 11 minutes ago. So Parker will have the fresh tyres for the last quarter of this race. But Vinny Kinero will be hoping to hold on. P5. Yeah, Terry Rayton, I agree. Great recovery by Vinny Kinero. His best finishing position of the season is 4th. That was a couple of rounds ago. His others are 5th, 6th. He's out of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and a 10th. So he's not going to be finishing 9th today, hopefully. Here's Matt Frost, our silver class leader. He makes his stop. Where is McGillivray? So he's coming through turn 5. Hildebrandt's ahead of him. So McGillivray had that long pit stop. So we'll stick with Hildy instead. Frost is at 39, 40 seconds and counting. Here's Hildebrandt out of turn 8. He'll rush down to turn 9. This is going to be pretty close between Frost and Hildebrandt. Frost still stationary. Away he goes. Here comes Hildebrandt down the front straight. I think it's going to be pretty tight. Frost is going to end up doing it though. There comes Hildebrandt. And a pretty decent margin to Frosty. There you go. There's Hildebrandt in the background. So it'll take about half a lap or so to get those tyre pressures up. But right now, Matt Frost leads the silver class by about 3.5 seconds to that purple and pink and black Porsche behind. So Chris Hildebrandt has got it all to do right now. About 2 seconds the gap between he and Frost. So can Chris Hildebrandt get a class victory? I think he'd absolutely love that. That would be his first of the season. And well deserved, I would say. Not saying that Frosty's isn't well deserved. Both of these drivers would be nice to see. But we... Oh no! Frosty! Oh, he had the big... Oh, I thought he was going to save it then. That... Oh no! He was... Oh, what's happened? What happened here? Oh, just the back end just went around. This is where we picked him up. Oh, Hildebrandt did a good job to avoid that. But that is disaster for the 666 as we go back to live images. So that has put Chris Hildebrandt into the lead of the silver class. I said last week that this man, he is a trier. He turns up week after week. He puts in a good effort week after week. Does he win? Does he win the class every week? No, he doesn't. But you know what? He has an absolute crack. And that's all you can really ask. And that's what makes it so good to see a guy like Chris Hildebrandt in the 111, P6 outright, leading the silver class. He's got McGillivray hunting him down. So 4 seconds the gap between Hildebrandt and McGillivray and Russell. So the job's not done. But Chris Hildebrandt's got a great opportunity with 12 minutes left on the clock to bring his 111 Porsche home for what would be his first class victory of the season. So let's see how he goes. In the meantime, Jack Steele is yet to pit with 12 minutes left on the clock. Here's Herbitron and Fakely swapping spots down there in P9 and P10, so he gets that job done. And Matt Frost is in the pits now. Did he hit the wall? I'm not too sure, but that's disaster. He's doing so well, the Rainmaster, and unfortunately, yeah, that really sucks. And there was really nothing he could do about that. That was just maybe a bit of aquaplaning. It's been raining constantly. I thought I saw some patches of blue, but maybe that was just the clouds blowing open temporarily, but don't see that anymore. So this man leads the race right now. He has a gap of about 54 seconds between he and Max Ricker. Now, as the time ticks on, that means he will need to fill it up with less and less fuel. And you would think, with only less than 11 minutes left, he's not going to change tyres. So, last lap around, I think we might be in for a grandstand finish here. You can see the blue on the ground. Looks like there might be some blue skies, perhaps, but no, it doesn't look like it from there. But this might be a cracking finish. Jack Steele going long, splash and dash to get him home. Gap is at 40 odd seconds. Oh, this is going to be super exciting. How long can he go? He's been going for 50 minutes. Yeah, last lap 34.6. Ricker did a 33.8. Going to be a race till the end. We've seen total pit stop times. The par time, a minute. I wonder if that was a little mistake there from Steele. So maybe the pressure just getting to him a little bit. Let's see if he makes his way in the pits on this trip around. He is not going to, so he'll continue around again. Would have been going at 90 seconds a lap. So we've got roughly about 6 laps left, roughly. Although we don't count the laps, we count the minutes. Ooh, this is Steele pulling a bit of a strategic masterclass here. That last lap was a 35 flat, 33.9 to Ricker. Yeah, so a second faster. Here's Vinny Canero. He's 8 seconds away from Benjamin Hignett. Hignett did a 35.4. Canero did a 34.1. 9 seconds the gap. Right now, Hignett pitted 26 and a half minutes ago. Canero pitted 18 minutes ago. So a little bit of a tyre advantage to Vinny Canero right now, but the clock is ticking. Could he get a podium position here, Vinny Canero? That would be an incredible result given what happened to him early on. We'll wait and see. 8 minutes 20 remaining. Jack Steele. Will he continue around for another lap? This Ferrari fuel tank is just infinite. Really knows how to stretch the absolute maximum out of it. Here we go. Here's the pit stop from Steele. This is a big stop. Big stop. How long will it be? It's not going to be the full minute, that's for sure. wait for him to start. Here's Ricker. So Ricker's coming through turn 6. I feel like it's going to be just a splash and dash for Steele. It has to be at this stage of the race. He's not going to change tyres. We'll stick with him. Here's Steele. Not Steele, here's Ricker. Coming out of turn 8. Steele, you'd expect him to drop back down on the jacks any second now. Not looking like it at this stage. Still stationary. Here comes Ricker. And Steele is going to lose the lead of this race. So I built that up for absolutely nothing. And Steele's still in there. We'll have to read the pit stop rules next week. It's so hard to get to. That's the problem with it. The website is just clunky. It's just not... It's just, yeah, it's a ball breaker to get it. Here's Steele. So he's still P2. Hignett only 4 seconds down the road. He slides his way through turn 1. 6 seconds, in fact, is the gap between Steele and Hignett. Canero 7.3 to about 9 seconds, in fact, behind Hignett. And Parker 5.5 seconds down the road from Canero. So that's your top 5. Chris Hildebrandt still leads the silver class as he whips his Porsche through turn 1. And he's got a pretty healthy gap right now. 4.5 seconds, almost 5 seconds the gap between he and Brett McGillivray. So 6 minutes left for Chris Hildebrandt to take out a class victory, which I think we'd all agree is pretty good. Max Ricker, so 12.6 seconds. So he's extended his gap. It was about 10 seconds when he first pitted. So he's been a lights to flag effort right now with less than 6 minutes remaining. Jack Steele there in P2 and Hignett, as mentioned, 6.5 seconds behind him. And the field's pretty well spread out. We've only ended up losing one, which was James Pierre Reid, who had the start line issues yet again. So if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all. But yeah, that was unfortunate for him. Where did Benjamin Hignett start? He started the race in 4th. So Ricker was first. Who was P2? Aaron Parker. So he's the one that's dropped the furthest out of the top 5 from 2nd to 5th. What was his pit stop time? Minute 1. Yeah, we saw him have a couple of offs as well, but no, it didn't spin or anything. So what's his pace? 35.4. Yeah, these guys lapping in the mid-34s. He's in the mid-35s. Mid to low 30, mid 34s to the low 35s. He's at 35.4. So just didn't quite have the pace to hang with the guys at the front. Vinny Canero, if he didn't spin, he would have been a candidate to win this race. He's actually lapped faster than the race leader on that previous lap. Even with a little bit of damage there on the side, I didn't see who he hit to obtain the damage on the side there. So, but whoever it was and whatever it was, it hasn't slowed him down. He didn't slow himself down, unfortunately. So a bit of a bad luck story. He is going to equal his best finishing spot though for the season. So that's good. So there is a positive to take away from it. Chris Hildebrandt we've talked about already. Brett McGillivray, he's had a good race. Started in P6. Has only slid down 1 spot to P7. So I think that would probably be his best finishing position for the season. Paul Russell, he started in 9th, so he's moved up 1 spot into P8. Neil Fakeney, he started in 13th, so he's up 4 spots into P9. Having a good run. Christopher Butt, another good outing from him. He started in 14th, currently occupying P10. Robin Herbert, he started 10th in 11th right now. Wally Masterson, 11th into 12th, but AM class leader. That would be his 3rd class victory for the season. Mitch Hayes started 7th into 6th. Didn't see what happened to him, so not too sure. Matt Foss is in the pits. And Mark Hurley, he started 15th, and he is in 15th right now. So, not bad, not good, just meh. But he's still circulating. That is one of the main things as well. So, Max Ricker, probably got a couple of laps left once this one ticks over. 2 more to go of the 4.3 kilometre circuit Red Bull Ring. As mentioned, 10 corners, but they're 10 tricky corners. There's nothing really too easy about this circuit. And all the battles are pretty much done and dusted at this stage. These are the closest two out on track. That's Fakeney and Butt. And it rained for the entire time as well. So I think that's our first full rain race of the season. I thought we might have been heading for a grandstand finish. But Steele, what was the time in the end? Full minute. There you go. So maybe he couldn't get those tyres till the end. Where is Ricker? He's not far from completing another lap and beginning the final one. We'll get the signal shortly anyway. So Steele had an 11-point lead over Benjamin Hignett in the championship. He had a 12-point lead over Max Ricker as well. So will Max be in the lead of the championship as we go to round number 9 next week at Coda? That is going to be interesting. So it's all going to be on the line next week.
Leader's on final lap now.
There we go. There is the signal. Leader on the final lap. And Max Ricker just needs to complete 9 more turns. And he will take race victory number 2 for the season. He's only finished outside of the top 5 once. And that was P9. About 4 races ago. That would have been the 100... No, the race before. He won the 100-minute race. I can't remember what that was. Round number 4. But yeah, another classy drive. Started P1. Looked pretty easy for him. He's had a healthy sort of 10-second buffer for pretty much the entirety of this race. And it looks like he's just been cruising out there. So looking forward to getting the post-race interviews with him to see what his thoughts were. Always enjoy talking to Max. So that will be coming up very, very shortly. He's just got another sort of 3 or 4 more corners to finish. And he will take out, as mentioned, his 2nd race victory of the season. Had another strong season as well. As mentioned, only finished outside of the top 5 once. And that was in P9. As he rounds turn number 9. Turn number 10, round number 8, race victory number 2 for the season. Max Ricker, as he crosses the line, congratulations, well deserved.
The leader has finished the race.
He's taking the championship down to Coda next week. Here comes Jack Steele. So the question will be, will he be in the lead as we head into the final round? We'll wait and see. But in the meantime, well done, Jack Steele. He takes home P2 for round number 8. Here comes home Benjamin Hignett. So that does his championship hopes as well. A good deal. He moves into P3. So congratulations, the final podium position. Here's Aaron Parker. Just didn't quite have the outright pace today, but a good finishing spot for him. P4. Congratulations. He's having a fantastic season. Well deserved for him after last week. Here comes Vinny Canero. Case of what could have been. P5 in the fastest lap is what he'll have to settle for today. Here comes Chris Hildebrandt. Well done. The Silver Class Championship. Well done. A Silver Class victory. Well done, Hildy. Well deserved. We'll get him on the post-race. Brett McGillivray. Great race from him as well. P number 7. Well deserved. Here comes Paul Russell. So he was leading the Silver Class Championship. Mitch Hayes was tucked in behind him, as was Robert Herbert. But they've all finished behind him. So could we see Paul Russell clinch the Silver Class Championship next week? We'll wait and see. Neil Fakeney, Christopher Butt in P10. Robin Herbert in P11. Another strong showing from him. Hurley in 13th. 14th is Matt Frost. But congratulations, Max Ricker. He is the outright winner. Chris Hildebrandt, he is the Silver Class champion, Silver Class winner. And Wally Masterson as well, who looks like he is already left. Let's get to some post-race interviews, shall we? And have a chat with Chris Hildebrandt and Max Ricker. Alright, you can go, get rid of that. Alright, let's get in there, eh? Green room. Here we go. I'm in there. Oh, so James Pierre Reid. Force feedback died. Need to investigate, but would have been a fun race, I'm sure. A bit disappointing. Oh, that is a shame. All right. I think we have our race winner, Max Ricker. Are you there?
Yes. Hello, Nick. How are you doing?
Good, mate. How are you going? It looked from here. It looked pretty easy tonight. You had a 10-second buffer for most of the way. Was it as easy as it looked?
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. To be honest, I was surprised. I think that I got lucky at the beginning that Steely, Ignat, and Parker, they were playing with each other. That basically I gained a lot of time there, and then it was just managing the gap. It was raining always more and more.
Yeah.
It was tricky, the strategy, because I was like, we started with damp track, and I knew that the tires would burn down a little bit quicker. So I was like, half an hour in, I was like, the optimal is to go now because it started raining a little bit more.
Yeah.
Going now, get the fresh tires and pump up laps. But the tires weren't too bad, and Steely wasn't doing any move. I was waiting for him to do a move. Was waiting. Ben did the move early. And I was like, I feel like it's too early. I was waiting for a move, but then I saw that everyone else had pitted, apart of Steely, Frosty, myself, and someone else. And I was like, oh well, worst case scenario, I jump back in clear air, and that's exactly what I did. And then it was not too bad. I was getting distracted from time to time. I don't know why. But no, it was a good race.
What were you getting distracted from?
I was just getting distracted. Sometimes I was at the hairpin, the one, what is T3 at the hairpin.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need to bump down the TC on the Ferrari because if not, it bogs down way too much. So you get TC3 to get out of there. Rest of the track, TC5 is good.
Yeah.
But it was like sometimes I was forgetting, and I was doing the rest of the lap in TC3. Then I was getting to that hairpin, bumping it down too. I was on TC1, and I was like, what's happening here? The tires are letting go, no? Then I was looking, I was like, oh no, TC1, no. Right. But no, it was a good race. In the end, when Steely went through, it was very hard to make much time on him. It was matchy because we were matching lap times basically all the way. It would have been a very different race if it was clear from the beginning.
And off topic, how was Phillip Island on the weekend?
Was very good. It was good.
I saw some photos.
Yeah. A friend of mine that does a lot of track days up in Sydney.
Yep.
It was down there with a car and a couple of friends. He was just helping there. So we went into the pit. It was good. It was good fun. It's always good fun. It's great that you can drive around the track.
Yeah,
so,
love Phillip Island for that. It's so good.
Yeah, sometimes it was in the paddock. Then we took the car. We went up to Lucky Heights.
Oh, yep.
Then we were like, can't see much from here. Let's go down Siberia. And from Siberia, basically, you see everything.
So good.
P1,
yeah.
You see Stoner, Millekon, Siberia. You see them going up.
To the hay shed.
Yeah, it was actually spectacular because outside at the exit of Siberia, it's much bumpier than it was Phillip Island.
Yeah.
And you could see that the cars were were absorbing the bump because they have a lot of aero. I've drove there before the resurface and after the resurface. Before the resurface was so smooth, like everywhere was beautiful. Now it's so bumpy. Like Stoner Corner, I used to take it full throttle, 200 k's, and now it's like you need to be a little bit more careful because without aero on normal cars, you need to lift off that tiny little bit because if not, it's called brown. There are a few spots that, it's quite different. It's quite different. It's more grippy, but because it's more grippy and bumpy, it's actually more scary. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, it was great. It was great. Weather was good. Not too cold.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Nice. Oh, I'm glad you had a good time down there. It's great spectator track. So, well, it put you in good stead for tonight. So you smashed them tonight, and looking forward to the season finale next week in Coda.
Yeah, because between Steely, Ingrid, and myself, I think the championship is just quite tight.
Three-way fight coming up. It's going to be good times.
Yeah, basically, who wins next week is going to be probably the champion because it's an endurance.
Yes,
it's going to be tricky. It's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
Anyway,
beautiful.
I'll leave you to it. Thank you for all your great work.
No worries. Thank you.
I'll go and watch the stream.
Beautiful. All right, enjoy.
See ya.
Thanks, mate. Thanks, Max. All right, so that's Max Ricker. Chris Hildebrandt was in the 111. He was our class winner tonight for Silver Class. Are you there, Chris?
Yeah, mate. How you going?
Mate, congratulations. I gave you a bit of a rap last week, and I hope I don't know if you saw it or not or heard it or not, and I hope you took it the right way. But I had a big smile on my face when I saw you take P1 today. So walk us through your race.
Mate, comeback king. I seem to just finish in that kind of 10th place position like every week, right? But I had a really bad qualifying tonight. What was I, like second last? And here we go. But come back, fought back quite well. Couple of good little moves there. A few people made some mistakes, which I kind of capitalised on.
Yep.
Look, it should have gone to Frosty. Frosty should have won. He put Dryas on his pit stop, so he come out and had no traction.
Oh, so that's what he did. Right.
Yeah. So I did get him on the pit stop. I did gain some time there.
Yeah.
Kind of pulled that back to 2.5 seconds or whatever. But yeah, if he was on wets, it would have been a different story. But look, that's racing.
That is.
So
that's
I'm capitalising it. It's P1 silver. It probably won't happen again this season now that there's all these other fast guys here, but I'm taking it.
Bloody oath you should. Yeah, no, good on you. Because I was just saying last week, when you say, oh, you usually ran P10, that's sort of kind of where you are. And you're always trying, you turn up every week, you have a crack, and you can't really ask more than that. And then to see tonight, so when you saw Frosty, so it makes sense because when I saw it on the stream and it was just like, oh, that's such a weird place to spin. Do you know what I mean? And that makes sense now that he put the dryers on. When you saw him, though, because he was already spinning before you sort of arrived, and then he'd done another pirouette around, and you had to, take evasive action to the right. So were you, was your entire race just, flashing before your eyes at that stage?
Yeah, I saw him in pits, and I'm like, oh, I might get him. And then I realised I'm not going to get him, and he was sitting right in front of me. I'm like, full attack mode. Let's do this. Let's push to the end. And then just coming out of the hairpin, he called it out, saying that he made a mistake.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to be faster through the next kind of sector. Just don't screw anything up.
Yeah.
And as I came down through that little downhill right-hander, I saw him a little bit sideways, and then he went off, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Do I lift? I lift?
Yeah.
I'm like, no. These guys are only 4 seconds behind me.
Yeah.
No, I'm surely I can pick a gap. Fingers crossed. And then he looped it, and I'm like, oh, yeah, taking the inside. And then I hoped that curb wasn't too wet and gonna kill me, but it worked out.
Yeah. No, well, he looped around twice. It was the second time. I was like, oh, this could be bad. But then it ended up being fine. So, and you because I think you were behind McGillivray when you pitted, and he was he took a minute 6, and you took a minute 1, so you managed to jump him in the pit stops because you're having a good little battle there with him for a while.
Yeah, I caught up to him. I think after Frosty took him.
Yeah.
I don't know if it rattled his confidence or whatnot, but he seemed to be a little bit slower after Frosty overtook him. So I just pushed hard, and then I was going to pit, and then he pitted as well. I'm like, oh no, this is going to be bad. Like, I don't want to lose time on the entry, because you can lose 2 seconds just coming across the line there. And it seemed to be good. So I must have got in the box better than him, because we pretty much come in like the same time, right? But I was out of the box before he started moving. So
Yeah.
I must have just hit the mark. He might have had to get pushed a little bit, maybe, or he might have done some damage or something. Who knows, right?
Yeah,
I
well,
don't
he
know.
was. Yeah, he was like a minute 6, and you were like a minute. So it was that 6 seconds. But he had a good race tonight as well. That was probably his best race for the season. I reckon he was battling it out there with you. But mate, you got to get the good luck. You got to be in the position to get it. You got to, it's right place, right time. So my Discord, yeah. Yeah, but you did it. Yeah, awesome job tonight. And if that's your only win for the season, mate, who cares? It's a win. Doesn't matter. So, massive congratulations. And, yeah, looking forward to next week.
Cheers, mate. Thank you. Bye.
All good. All right. Have a good night. Thank you. All right. Disconnect. All right. Beautiful. So that is all done. That's round number 8 in the books. Next week, we are going to be going to Coda, and it's going to be a 3-way fight for the championship overall, and I think Silver's going to be advantage to Paul Russell. So we'll see what happens next week. So stick around. We're going to start roughly same time. I'll try and get the start time right. But thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week. In the meantime, stay safe, look after yourself. My name's Nick. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.